Hey guys. Okay, so onwards and upwards, right? So today will be the day that we're going to start thinking about things not like we normally do. So what we're going to start doing is actually looking at how they're trying to shift us into a specific area in life that most people actually probably do not agree with. And while they're trying to shift us into this new way of thinking, we're not going to be agreeing upon it. Why? Because they have an agenda. Now, the agenda that I'm going to be thinking about, I've already opened my Akashic Records, and we're going to start really dialing into what the agenda is and what we're going to really be thinking about moving forward with this agenda. So, let's get into it. So, there's a perversion. And there's a perversion unlike what we can even really fathom at this point, right? So, what I'm seeing is this order that's being created, that's pushing this agenda that we're moving into in society. It doesn't matter which society in the world, it's actually all societies, because they're all owned by the same agenda. It doesn't really matter which agenda, it's all the same people, all owned by the same people. Now, what I'm getting is they were a split. So they were actually a part of this Jewish sect at one point, and then they split. And I hear Frankist. So, sorry, when I start channeling, sometimes I cough. So, so they're not only Frankists, but I see it's almost like a Frankist ideology behind it. And it shows that there's other actually underlining things. The people that are claiming to be Jewish today, that's trying to push this agenda, that claim to be Jewish are not even Jewish to begin with. But the only way they can be able to push this agenda will be by the Jewish name, if that makes sense. So what they're doing is they've understood this concept. So they create a concept of Judaism, right? And then after the Holocaust, now it's anti-Semite if you speak against them. So what we have to understand is these people have seen it a specific way, and they have understood how to play the system. So as we continue to play the system correctly, they're looking at it like this. There isn't much that you can do at this point. Okay, well, hold on, it's taking me back. So it's looking at like the normal people today, right? So the normal people, like you and the majority of the people that will be watching today, will be just your normal cats, right? So we're sitting here doing our thing, and we see things that are wrong, and we want to change it, but we don't know how to change it. Well, the thing is, these people have been in lineages. It's showing like it's been generations. These people have thought about this time in, time out. And as soon as I said that, I saw the abortion for some reason. And that has been an agenda from the very beginning. So it's like everything has been an agenda. And it is trying to create a divide, to where people are over here creating hate towards one and then hate towards another, assuming that one's wrong. Actually, nobody's wrong, because we are actually sitting here doing our best while these people are creating these matters. So at this point, what's happening is while we're moving forward, these people are doing specific things, and these things are perverted. It's a straight up perversion of what the Judaist would believe. But the thing is, they've understood how the Judaism works, and they can be able to be under a certain bracket. And when you claim to be under a certain bracket, there isn't many things that the goyim can be able to do. Now, what is a goyim? A goyim is a Gentile. A Gentile to an average Jew, and even the sect of what I'm talking about is Frankists. They're Franco-Sabbateans. So these people are still part of the clique, but they were actually, I'm seeing like forced out years ago. And during that time, I see, and this is a way back. So it was almost like probably before your great grandparents. I'm thinking it's been generations ago where they were forced out, and then they were able to reestablish something to be able to think about what's best for them today. And not today then, but they're thinking like generations down. So the thing is, when you get stuck in this loop that I was speaking about yesterday, when you get stuck in this loop to where we cannot be able to become the true divine mind of God, then we will be stuck in the loop of, which before I never understood an incarnation, I never accepted it, and now I just see it as I'm pretty sure that reincarnation is a factor. I have it's the thing is when you accept something outside of your sovereign self, you start accepting things to be outside of yourself to be higher than you. As soon as you accept things to be higher than you, you lose sovereignty. As soon as you lose sovereignty, that's when what happens is you allow somebody else to have your power. As soon as somebody else has the power of you, what happens is you move forward. Problem is, after you pass on, the sovereignty has already died. The problem is, a lot of people today claim that they're over here sitting in like a totem pole, and they think that they're living a specific way, living the godly life. The problem is, you've already lost your sovereignty because you're over here assuming something is better than you are. And you need to become that. And at this point today, where we're at, is these people understand this sovereign state. So they're forcing this agenda. And as they're forcing this agenda, they're perverting the agenda. And perversion means there's many underlining characters. And I see many things, and I don't even want to say what I see, but because I probably could be flagged or banned immediately from YouTube within like a couple podcasts, and this I'm just not going there. So there's a lot of perversion, and perversion, think of the name, perversion. So these people understand certain cycles, and they use certain energies from certain people to be able to pervert it, to be able to get their agenda across. So they take the energy of certain ones, if you understand what I mean. Now, so as we move forward, the thing is, these people of the elite, and I'm talking anybody that is of the elite, the famous, anybody in politics, they understand this perversion. They understand what this perversion is, and they are working with this perversion to be able to get this agenda across. Now, what we have to understand is, as us being sovereign beings, we are not created the same. And that's where we go to where my first question will be. Now, so what is their next step with this world agenda? And it will be forcing us into a new movement. And the thing is the movement will be fear. And when they get you in fear, they will keep you in a lower state. Now, the funny thing is as we move forward, as we're moving into this new state of being, they're trying to keep people back. So I don't know if these people that I'm seeing that's behind me as I'm moving forward are actually going to be coming back and back and back, trying to refix what they've done. But that's on them, right? So we have to think about these things. As things move forward, there's a new concept of living for the ones that are awakened and see certain things. And as we build upon like prosperity, growth within ourselves, understanding our flaws, fixing our flaws, and then moving forward with our flaws, that's where we start to grow as sovereign individuals. Overlook my clothes. It is what it is. When I get on here, I don't have many hours of the day to do what I need to do. I finish my chores and then I get on here. So if you're looking at the stains on the shirt, that's called yard work. So let's continue. So as we move forward, I just saw the stain. Okay. As we move forward within this shift, these people are going to be using specific things to really create a certain dogma. And this dogma is really going to attract a lot of people. Now, the funny thing is, as soon as I was talking about the abortion thing, I saw the abortion today, and then I saw abortion then, when the judgment was passed. But it looked like it was another loop. So the reason that they created that loop was to be able to create a more divide today, because they knew that the movement that we're moving into, they had to do something this big to be able to hold the people that are awakening back. So all the people today that are over here pissed off and throwing fists at it, I'm telling you, I'm seeing it. And it's like, it's a looping effect. Just like I just talked about yesterday. They understand the mind. There are so many aspects within the mind that I don't understand, that I've studied. But the thing is we have to understand different aspects within the mind. And that's things that they do understand. They've had hundreds of years to really manipulate things to get them where they are today. So what they've done is they've manipulated things, and then they have forced specific agendas to get where they're at today. And so while we're moving forward within that, there's going to be certain people that's just going to be moving with a new way of being, right? But the thing is there's a being that, as soon as I said it, he would be coming down. So it's like they're calling upon that being, and then he has legions behind. Legions is groups. So it's like those groups will become entities to be able to leech off of that one. Now, as things shift forward, it's like a complete whirlwind of how things will start being created within how they want. And the problem is they have so much lucrative assets to where they can force things upon us. It doesn't matter if you're in a big city, a small city, they're able to force it and then pay people, because I'm seeing people getting paid. And so people are getting paid, not really understanding the true depth of what's actually going down. And then when they get paid, they have to sign contracts, because I'm seeing contracts being signed. So they are paid and contracted out to where they make specific plans with these people to be able to force this agenda. This agenda then is placed upon us to where we assume that this is real. The problem is, I'm not saying it's not real. My problem is, I think most of it could be manipulated. Some things do happen, yes. But I think a lot of it has been manipulated to where people have been paid off and contracted. And then it force feeds the public to assume that we have all these conflicts, which we don't. Or we have all these problems in society, which we don't. But the thing is we have to look at it from a sovereign individual. As soon as you see it from a sovereign state, and then we have to really start looking at things with the power from us. It's not looking outside of ourselves to get answers. And that's where everybody's going wrong. And that's one thing that I have to say. Now, it's funny, is I saw, okay, so let me back up real quick. Now, as soon as I said that, they wanted to make a point. So they were saying the Frankists that are doing this are not the Luciferians. They are actually not even the Satanists. What they are is a complete different sect of people claiming to be Jewish, but acting like the others, so you cannot trace them back to what the fuck they are, right? So it's just like a complete infection of the brain, like I was talking about. So what they're doing, okay, so they are claiming to be one sect of people, which they were rejected and they cannot be part of. Okay, the next, they claim that they are something because they have the money to be able to do so, which they're not even part of it. The problem is they're over here claiming something to make them look bad. The thing is, we have to look at these as separate entities, right? Luciferians, they look upon Lucifer as finding him, and then he you find the strength within. But those people are still looking outside of themselves, assuming him power. So it's no different than Christianity. So that's where they get most of the ideology. It's like, okay, well, I just this. Well, it's no different, really. It's really no different. So we're going to have to start looking at ourselves, and with most and every religion is all tied to the same. All Abrahamic religions is the same God. What's that? Allah, Christianity, Judaism, all this is Abrahamic religions. And they are all the same God. So what's funny is we're over here at war making assumptions that these Islamic people are terrible because of their God, which his God is actually your God. It doesn't matter which God it is. The problem is you're still looking outside of yourself. So at this point, what we have to start doing is filling yourself to where you feel connected to God. Not outside of yourself, not over here. I'm not saying that guides can't help you. Even gods can help you. But the thing is, as soon as you put too much power outside of yourself to something outside of yourself that you've never even met, you're losing your sovereignty. As soon as you lose sovereignty, that's when you have lost the soul cycle. Losing soul cycle is when I see the return. So every time we come, we choose. We choose to come here, and we choose our parents, we choose our family, we choose everything. Now, there is circumstances to where it can be moved. There is multiple jump-off points that we have. Normally, people have 3 to 4 jump-off points during a lifetime. I've already had 2. One of my first jump-off point, now looking at it and understanding it the way that it's supposed to be, the jump-off point, my first jump-off point was when I was in middle school, probably about 15 years old, or a little younger. I had a really bad four-wheeler accident, ruptured my kidneys. I was in bad condition for a long time. That was my first jump-off point. My second jump-off point to where I could be able to die was when I got ran over by the truck. So when I was walking across the street. So everybody has jump-off points. Some people's are worse than others. Now the thing is people that are more out, that spirit understands that you're able to connect more than others. What they're going to do is they're really going to throw you down the ringer, and they're going to really make you evolve. And it's either you take your jump-off point or you evolve and figure what the hell's going on. Because we are dealing with a lot of stuff today, and we chose to be here. We chose this life. We chose these problems. And the next part is us dealing with these problems. Now, the problem is a lot of people don't understand because they haven't studied. and then all the books that we have been given are over here telling us specific ideology, and it's all bullshit. So, what is the seed of David? That's what I would like to know. The seed of David is a corrupted seed. But, okay, so it wasn't a corrupted seed. It was a seed separate from another. Now, sorry. So when I'm speaking about the seed of David, the David is the seed of the Jesus that we speak of. Oh, I just got hot. Oh, Lord. Excuse me. What the hell's going on here? Okay, now, the thing is, the seed of David was the seed that was corrupted. And the seed that was corrupted is not the same type of seed as the divine children of the first Genesis. And there's two children of that whole book, if you don't understand it. And there was two creations, two children, two different lineages. And the seed of David was a different lineage. And it's saying that these lineages are going to keep relooping. So it's like they were built to reloop. It was different than what, It was different than what we as the divine children of God that have the divine right to be able to communicate with him, that seed cannot. So it's like they were disrupted. So there's a complete disconnect with the God source, because they never had a true God source to begin with. So that's where we are within moving forward. And so with me saying that, now the thing is, the seed of David and this world order, is that all part of the same lineage, to where they're forcing specific things to where they can be able to grow and then do things. Placements are key. So it's like they understand the placement. So it's over and over and over. So as soon as I said that, I saw the pharaohs back in Egypt. So they were part of the same seed, to where when they pass, they actually have the choice to reinsert themselves. And they are not the same lineage as this new hybrid species, which is directed with God. And so if that is the case, what is the percentile of it? Okay, so they showed me like a pie, and the pie is like a third would be the seed. So the thing is a lot of times people are assuming that they are the same, but actually they have no right to actually connect. And that might be why this has been a corruption of some sort, because these people actually don't understand the concept of God. So they're trying to play God to become our God. And then what happens is we have been sucked into another loophole cycle. Because as soon as we assume something outside of ourselves, sell ourselves to somebody, okay, the thing is, in the original scripture, when we die, we will come back. But the thing is, it's like our soul will come back time and time and time and time again. So, but the thing is you, after this cycle, you will not have the right to be able to truly make choices, because you become more like a golem. And golems are more of like an animated character, if you don't know what golems are. So And if you look at golems and how golems are actually made just like what Yada-Baoth, Jehovah God, claims that he made the humans. Hold on. I just heard, so that is the lineage. So there is a different lineage of the Yada-Baoth children than the divine mind children. So they're showing like two lines. Things have happened, right? And it happened, but the thing is when it was created, there had to be a side branch. During the side branch of the Yada-Baoth children, there had to be a neutralize, almost like the yin and the yang. So you have to have the good and you have to have the bad to be able to neutralize things. This is what's going on with the human society today. So there is the golems that look like humans, act like humans, react like humans, and we don't understand that they are different than humans. Also, there is the reptilians, which is working probably with the golems because they're more like a remote sensory, I would imagine, because that's outside of us. They have nothing, right? So we have the right to choose. Golems don't. And I would imagine, with that said, when that was created, he has certain agendas to go along with his plan, right? And originally that species was supposed to be here to mine gold and or really bring the gods of that sect income, or they needed these things for some reason off of this earth. So they created this hybrids. But the thing is there is a different like a split, and that's where the divine energy has moved into these people. And when the souls have been inserted, I see like the soul beings being put here. And that is to actually contradict what has been going on. So there's a lot of things at play here. And there is many different things that I'm seeing. So it's almost like the reptilians are part of the golems, but they aren't, if that makes sense. So they can actually use their bodies, but the golems still work without them being part of their bodies, if that makes sense. But now the thing is the divine mind can be attached by entities, which could be created by those, which is in the Mormon's book, it would be like the princes of hell. So what's funny is the princes of hell don't have a body, but they have energy. So they're nothing more than entities. And the thing is, entities can prey upon people. Now, what's strange is when you look at these things in a different way, like that's the reason I wanted to open up to it today, to really see it for what it was. Because so what I'm seeing is like three, and it's three of three sects. But two of the sects are practically working together in tandem. And then there's this sect, which is more of a hybrid species of the divine mind. And these sects have been here for so much longer than we can understand, because we are new souls. So these new souls move in, we're brainwashed, we don't understand. We know we have the power, but we don't understand it completely, right? So these other beings, they die off and they just get reinserted. And do they lose their things? It's like they understand the concept of death. But the thing is when they lose their rights, it doesn't matter if they remember anything, because that is now part of this ideology that's over here by itself in tandem over here, right? So as we move forward, what would have to be able to blend the two and or detract from the two or get rid of the entire species? So so moving forward, it doesn't matter what they want. As we move forward, the people that are now pushing for this period of time, we have now seen it for what it is, and we know that we have to continuously work on ourselves, find our way, and be able to get where we need to be. And they're going to either start dying off, or they're going to start jumping ship. And what I mean jumping ship, that means get out of this planet. Because a lot of these things are not this realm. I think there's realms outside of the earth that's just past the ice wall. Who the hell knows? I don't know. But they can get there. And that's where they're going. So there is a time where they're going to start just like jumping ship. It's either they jump ship or they just start dying off. Because when we move into the 5D, the 5D is understanding the balance, understanding the fear, the 3D, but living in a high vibration. So we're going to continuously have it. It's just going to keep coming. The universe is just going to keep bringing it to you. It's going to be constant influx. It's going to be nonstop crazy bullshit. In a good way, right? But what we have to understand is when this happens, as we're moving into the 5D, 5D is understanding the balance between the two. And while we're understanding the balance between the two, we don't take sides. And that's where a lot of people are today. You're taking sides. You're taking a side to this. You're taking a side to that. 5D is no sides. It's you're living in a neutral state as a sovereign being at your highest capacity that you possibly can be. And we are moving forward, bitches, because that's where it needs to be. Bye, guys.